Hear ye, the Henry County Board of Commissioners is now in session.
Thank you. Please stand for the flag of prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everybody's still standing for a word of prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to come together and do the work for the citizens of Howard County. We just ask that you watch over us, that you bless us, and you help guide our decisions. We ask that you watch over the citizens of Howard County, the citizens of Indiana, and all of the citizens of the United States. Watch over us, protect us, and guide us. And just help us to remember as we come into this Christmas season that we remember the real reason for the season. And it's your Son, and it's in his name that we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. All right. Any special announcements or recognitions? I don't think we do have any. Nope. None. All right, moving on. I've entertained a motion to approve.
I do have one.
You got one. Jack's got one.
I do.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Dawes got one.
I just want to say how much I appreciated everybody attending the parade that we had. Everybody's participation was fantastic. All the floats, just the city of Kokomo and their team did a fantastic job putting that together. There was a lot of smiling faces along the parade route, and I heard a lot of Merry Christmases. So kudos to everybody involved in that.
All right. Anything else? Now I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from previous meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second to approve. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Yeah, they are approved. And we need your signature. All right, departmental reports. Looks like we have the IT department. Mr. Stevens, you're up.
Good evening.
Jeremy.
I'm here tonight seeking a signature for an agreement with a company named American Legal, and this is to bring our ordinances up to date. It's codification, codify our ordinances. It's to catch them up from the year 2020 to 2023, as well as provide the up-to-date ordinances online that's searchable. The city of Kokomo uses the same vendor. There's a one-time charge of $4,850 to codify these ordinances, and a one-time charge of $795 to create the online portion. And after that, it's I think $495 annually. This is not a request for money. It's already budgeted, so I just need Mr. President to sign this, and we should be good to go.
This is to put all ordinances online, is that what I understand?
Yeah, so
Okay.
basically each one of these meetings, each time you guys create an ordinance, like a
Okay.
BCC number,
That'd be great.
this company, the auditor will upload those to this company. They
Okay.
pull out the appropriate section and update our master book.
Okay.
Right, that way you don't have to look at this, then figure out what ordinances have been added, and then put them all together. It's already together. That makes it easier to look at and find what you're needing, so,
Sounds like a good thing.
yeah.
If you're suggesting it must be.
Well,
What do you gentlemen think?
oh, also, the agreement has been reviewed by Alan, and with no issues.
Okay.
Make a motion to authorize you as president to sign the code supplemental agreement.
Second.
Motion is second to have me sign the agreement. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's approved.
And here's the
Sign it, you can.
thing, it's highlighted in there where you sign, and I'll just grab that from.
What's the initial, how about the, oh, this here too? Jeremy, you need all the initials for, I got you.
Thank you.
Okay, I think, let you look at it, we're gonna make sure I got it right. All right, moving on, looks like we have the Highway Department, Amber Toll. So she has annual bids for us from the salt barn.
So I'm going to hand out these. and kind of explain this as I go.
Amber?
So my first item is our annual bids and to award each of those items. So there were 6 items that we request material bids for. So I'll go through each one. The first one is precast and pre-stressed beams. There was one bidder, and that was Milestone, so they won the bid for that. Item number 2 is various grades of asphalt emulsion. We had 2 bidders, E&B Paving and Asphalt Materials. E&B was the low bidder at $660 per ton of material. Item number 3 is HMA Pavement and CMA Pavement. We had 1 bidder, and that was E&B Paving, so they won the bid for that item. Item number 4 is stone. We had 3 bidders for that item. We had Martin Marietta, Heidelberg Aggregates, and Irving Materials, IMI. This one was a little interesting. Heidelberg was the low bidder for most of the grades of stone, except for ice grits. There was a substantial cost difference in ice grits. That is one of the materials that we purchase a lot of. So in order to make a full assessment, I took the 3 most used stone grades, which is 53s, 73s, and ice grits, and I took the amount of material that we ordered in 2023 and did the math on those items to see if the county, what bidder the county would pay the least amount to. And so that still came out to Heidelberg Aggregates would have been the lowest cost overall to the county. So I did email all 3 of those bidders, explain the situation to them, and all 3 of them were in agreement that Heidelberg was the low bidder in that situation.
Okay.
So Heidelberg was awarded the contract for stone for 2024. Item number 5 is equipment rental. Milestone was the only bidder for that, so they won that bid. Now, item number 6, this one was interesting as well. So we had 2 bidders. We had Petroleum Traders and we had Cirrus Solutions. Per bid price, Petroleum Traders was the low bid on their firm price, which we did decide to go with the firm price instead of the fluctuating price. Less than 24 hours after the bids came in, I called Petroleum Traders and said, "You are the low bidder. We need to sign a contract with you." They emailed back and said, "Oh, well, we can't honor that price. We now have to go with this price," which was $3 and 3.5 something was their price at that point. So at that point, they were no longer the low bidder. I reached out to Cirrus Solutions and asked if they could honor their firm price. They said yes, they could. And so therefore, they were the low bidder at that time. I did email Alan and kind of go through that scenario just to confirm that we could go with Cirrus Solutions, and he agreed. So Cirrus Solutions was offered the bid on that one.
Sounds like you had fun.
Very interesting, yes, it was. So that's all 6 of those, and contracts are being signed for the 2024 annual bid items.
Anything from us as far as to approve? Or
Just that it was read into, I guess, read
show
into
it
the
right
record.
into the record.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. And then the other item I had was the Salt Barn advertisement.
Okay.
We are going to postpone that again. We are still struggling to coordinate items with Duke. They are the last item that we are trying to get done. And it has been a struggle to get answers from them. So we're probably, with the holidays coming up, we're probably going to push that into January and then just start the bids in January. I think that'll be cleanest to do that.
Thanks, Amber.
So, all right, thank you.
Amber, I have one question for
Yes.
you. On your annual bids
Yes.
on stone,
Yes.
got Hanson.
Yes.
Over here to Heidelberg.
Hanson was bought out or renamed into Heidelberg, so it's the same company, but
Same company?
yeah,
Okay.
that was a copy and paste error from last year, I think. I need to change that to Heidelberg, yes.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you. Next, Planning Commission, Greg Sheeline.
Good afternoon. I have 2 items before you. The first item is ordinance 2023 BCCO 48. It's a rezone at 4086 North, 1200 West. It's from agricultural to rural residential, and we had no one at the meeting to speak against it.
I'll make the motion.
Motion second to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's approved.
The next item is the subdivision. I have to say this real slow. It's Sheets Creek subdivision.
Thank you for saying that. sir.
Again, it's at 4086 North, 1200 West, and there was no one there to remonstrate against it.
Okay,
That's all I had.
okay. Need a motion to approve the subdivision.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion second to approve the subdivision as read. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll get them signed and get them to you here.
Okay.
Get this one. And you got that one too. And you got this one, I think. I'm pretty sure you have it. Get that one.
Thank you.
Sign this also. Yeah, you did. All right. All good. All right. Getting that done, move on. Howard Haven, Jennifer Brower.
There, I'm here today to get 2 applications approved. Gary C. Langston, he's a Howard County resident and a private pay. And also Eugene Hall, he's a veteran and will be a private pay as well.
It is the full house.
Really? All right.
I make a motion to accept both new residents.
Second that motion.
Motion second to accept. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? That's approved.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jeff. Maintenance Department, Mr. Stone Street, looks like you have a few.
Good afternoon. The first one I would like to cover for tonight would be the awarding of the courthouse chiller installation. QPH had the most responsive bid as far as the mechanical aspect
Okay.
of $142,000. They were using Hearn as their sub on the building structure type issues. Electric Plus had the most responsive of $12,800. So the project total for the installation of the already purchased chiller would be $154,800, and the money would be coming from the ARPA funding that's already been set aside for this project.
Good.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Motion second to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's approved. Yeah.
The second agenda item would be the McAllister Maintenance Agreement. These numbers exceed my ability, and also ability to approve, and also we entered into an agreement. So I'd like to have McAllister do our jail generator maintenance for 3 years for $10,468. This includes a battery change, so that's a reason for the most of the price increase. The Berkeley Tower generator would be, for a 3-year agreement, would be $6,233. And of course, these generators cover our countywide 911 system, so that's why I would like the best of the best looking at them. These are this we broken down into 3 yearly payments, and I would pay for that from my maintenance and service agreement line items.
Does that take care of both the generators, even New London and Greentown?
Those are done by Evapar.
Okay.
And they're more familiar with those generators, where McAllister does our actual Caterpillar generator.
Gotcha.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion second to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's approved.
The third one would be the additional concrete for the Kinsey Pole Barn. The project total cost was not to exceed $110,000. So we were just under $7,000 away of having a concrete apron installed while we're there. So I've requested the additional $6,739 to cover this apron from our Coon Cap building repair account, 1138.47243. That's a 6-inch pad, and it's going to be really nice to have.
How big of an apron will that provide, Bill?
I think it was 50 by 20. I think that's what the size was, somewhere inside that zone.
I'll make a motion to approve the apron for the.
Second.
Motion second to approve the concrete for the Kinsey Pole Barn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's approved.
The last item I have is a presentation by Envelop Group. The reason I brought them in, just last week I watched a news article about a apartment complex, I believe it's called The Loft in Indianapolis, and they had some equipment that wasn't exactly like ours, somewhat similar. And the heat went out and the solution several months away. So what they did is they had a temporary solution to go into each one of these apartments. They gave them a little space heater about half the size of a shoebox, and that's what they were supposed to heat their apartments with. But the moral of the story is that they waited too long, and it's going to be cooling season before they have heat. So we're not in any way or shape or form headed towards that. It's just that we need to be, I think, a little more proactive than what our previous vendor was in getting this problem solved as far as the A2L refrigerants. I'm familiar with these people. I've dealt with John there for quite a long time with a different company, so I'm familiar with them, I trust them, and I'm just gonna turn the floor over to them to let them tell you about what they offer.
Good afternoon, guys. My name is Clay
Hello.
Davis. I'm with Envelop Group. A little bit about myself. I'm a degreed engineer. Went to school at Purdue University, graduated back in 1984. Been licensed in the state of Indiana for about 20 plus years. Okay. I've spent my entire career working in the commercial HVAC industry. Okay. And I've been with Envelop Group for, it'll be 20 years here pretty soon. Okay. So a little bit about what we would advocate in the way of a solution. First, just a few words about the procurement process. Okay, and this is not my specialty, so excuse me if I stumble through this a little bit. But we'd be using the cooperative purchase program. The particular phase of that program that I understand would apply is called GovPro. Okay, as a means of procurement. The products that we would advocate, okay, in the project would be similar in replacement to what you have now. Okay, and speaking with Bill, I understand the facility has a lot of heat pumps in it, water source heat pumps. We represent a company called Water Furnace. You might have heard of them. They manufacture right here in the state of Indiana. They're in Fort Wayne. They've been around for 30 plus years. They were one of the leaders in the technology in that product, water source heat pumps. Okay, we would replace these with variable speed technology. All the parts would be available right through their facility. I have on occasion driven up there and picked up parts myself from Indianapolis, and, you know, in a pinch. Okay, don't do that every day, but I've done it a few times before. They keep a good stock on hand, though. All right, so plenty of good stuff there. They would be able to. They're kind of leading the way right now on refrigerant upgrades and changeouts. That remains an ongoing moving target, as we may know. Okay. In some cases, the compressor manufacturers aren't even up to speed yet with knowing what they can expect to get out of their compressors that we then incorporate into our products. But still yet, I would say Water Furnace is leading the pack on that. Okay. In addition to that, understand you also have some aging cooling towers. We represent Evapco. They're headquartered in Baltimore. In case of the product that we provide of theirs is typically manufactured in Illinois, Greenup, Illinois, not too far away at all. Again, parts are available there, parts available in Baltimore as well. In addition, understand there's a few makeup air units. You have fresh air, dedicated fresh air units. Okay, these are critical to be working right because this is, as you probably have heard the phrase, indoor air quality. They become critical in making sure that your indoor air quality is at an acceptable level. Your humidity levels are down in the summertime so that you don't grow mold, those kind of things. We represent a company out of Minneapolis called Innovent, which is a division of GreenHack. It's been around for a long time as well. All three of those companies provide to us excellent support. So we're an independent rep agency, so we're able to pick and choose the companies we represent, scorecard them. Those are three companies that we represent that I feel provide some of our best service, quite bluntly. Okay. We would have technical training programs for Bill and his staff, if you like, so that they can be up to speed. New refrigerants, much more efficient than what you have now. Lower operating costs, much lower maintenance costs, just because of the age of some of the equipment I understand you have. If I understand correctly, you've got some R22 machines, which is refrigerant that's been phased out now for quite a while. So you actually skipped a whole phase out of refrigerants. And then we would also reconfigure, take a good look at reconfiguring the makeup air units to come up with a configuration that's more user-friendly than what you have now. To understand you have a packaged machine, compressors and whatnot, all built into those makeup air units. It may be simplified to take the compressors out of that, establish a separate means of providing the cooling to those units, free up some space and make it more user-friendly, more easier to maintain, and make it more rugged also in the process. Any questions?
How many heat pumps do we have right now?
We have 45 at Kinsey, we have 74 at the jail. The jail's critical, Kinsey's not so much. They don't work as hard there, but.
I beg to differ. I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah. Well, the equipment doesn't work.
Come on.
You want to talk about the
Obviously, the higher amount you purchase, probably the better value, the cheaper they could possibly be.
So have you or somebody from your company looked at these 45 heat pumps that we have?
That would be my next plan. Okay, as I've expressed to Bill, I'd like to walk the building, look at it myself. I kind of tend to be a little more hands-on in that regard than a lot of guys in my situation. So I like to see the stuff, see exactly what he's dealing with, get an understanding of what his people and his maintenance people are capable of, and come up with something that makes sense to serve the needs of staff.
Bill, so we have Irish currently that works on, where do they figure into this?
They would have the opportunity to bid on it, and that's all further they would go. The actual installation. These gentlemen would be in charge of the manufacturing of the equipment and the supervision of the installation and the warranty.
So Bill, for the record, can you come up and give us your assessment of those 45 heat pumps?
At Kinsey? That's a,
No, at the jail.
74.
74, sorry.
currently?
Yeah,
Right now, those compressors that are in those pieces of equipment are $1,000 a piece. I don't know how much longer we're gonna be able to get them. They're R22, been phased out a long time. We can still get them. Waiting 2 more years means this thing's not gonna happen for 3 years because it's gonna take a year to do it. So the sooner the better. I understand. I'm not as concerned about it being the new refrigerant, what some are, but I completely understand why we'd want to go with the new refrigerant. Here it is available. It's made right here in Indiana. These fan motors that are on them, they're the old 110 volt. They're not DC. They're going to offer us variable speed fan motors that operate off DC that ramp up and down. The energy savings is just going to be huge compared to what we're operating now. That alone running for 2 more years is going to absorb a lot of project money.
I don't want to see the sheriff out there without heat.
The sheriff, he does not like his office to be very warm, so he would be very upset if we delayed it another 3 years. So I suggest we move at least to some capacity soon. Those makeup air units, there's one that doesn't work at all. You can't hardly even get to the door to service it, much less do any work on it. And they've come up with some great ideas there. I think this is worth a serious look. There's a plant just north of here, 2 hours north of here. We can tour it if we wish. where they do the manufacturing. One thing I would like to ask you, and I don't need an answer right away, is they would like, if we do want to move forward, a digital copy of our blueprints, which I have, to be released to them. I would never do that without permission of the sheriff or you or yourselves. So I would seek that permission if you guys wanted to look at it a little heavier.
Well, I don't,
Those comments about availability of equipment. Mentioned, I've done this for about 40 years. I've never in my career seen a situation we're in today with supply chain.
Yeah.
Some of this product, there's a couple items that we could get built in about 4 months. There's a couple of products involved that would probably take up to a year. So it's an ongoing struggle that we were hoping would have resolved itself by now in our industry, but it is continuing on.
what's the interruption process at the jail if we decided to do this?
Oh, we could make a swap. Once we got the equipment in place, you could unplug and plug one in. It'd practically be plug and play. We could do it in minutes. The hard part's getting the old stuff out and the new stuff in. But there's enough room in most of the places where you could have everything ready to go, then do the swap within minutes. It wouldn't take long at all.
It wouldn't interrupt the operations at the jail?
No, not at all. Not at all, especially if you timed doing the makeup units, at a good time as far as weather-wise. It's really not, I guess the best way to look at it, the good thing about it is there is 74 units there instead of just one. So if one fails, it's really not that big a deal. You can make up for it in another way somehow. But you have four pipe system, hot and cold water supply and return go in there, and your electrical, then your thermostat, and you're done. It's a really, take one out, shove the other in there, and hook it up.
And that's all new refrigerant, like we were talking last.
It's all the
That's
brand new
stuff.
A2L refrigerants, R454.
Which, never mind, I'm not good with that.
There's nobody, there's nothing that has been requested that these people do not satisfy. Like I say, I've known, go
I
ahead.
don't want to be in a situation like the place over in Lafayette, you said,
Oh, no, we would not. There's no way we're gonna end up in a situation like that. They had the courthouse chiller, prime example. We're swapping that out because it's old, and if it does fail, this project started 2 years ago. And that's how long it takes to get out of some of these situations where we're ahead of the game by being ready, having a new unit to slap up there.
I think, like you're saying, going variable speed drives with DC motor, I'm very familiar with those. We deal with
Sure.
those where I work. And
Sure.
that makes a motor last literally forever.
Forever.
I mean, those fan motors, because you're not ramming high speed to it, you're just giving it what it needs,
Exactly.
variable speed, variable
And the-
voltage, so yeah. it
The
works
jail
good.
population, the way it is, those are turning on and off constantly, so.
It'd be perfect. All right,
I'll just await your answer. There's no rush, and we very, very much appreciate your time.
thank you, Bill.
I don't know what do they want from this?
Just puts it in this kind of thing. We can talk about it. All right. Next, we have the sheriff.
I think Martha was trying to ask a question.
Martha wants to quit, well, ask, yell. And that's not true, we found out. And Bill's told us that's not true. We need to grab him out there real quick. Martha's got that question, grab him and that guy. Thanks, Todd. Martha's got a question.
Took it as a compliment. Yeah, you know why? They changed them out. When they were-
Absolutely. The R454.
Why don't do that on the road? Let her sit down. Clear them as they get mad, as they need, right?
Exactly. This is state of the art. There's nothing out there yet that is manufactured in the R454. It is the next generation of the refrigerants. It's easier to work with. It's far more efficient. They run at lower pressures, so it's what we want. Yeah.
Probably a good idea, Bill, to get hold of Council President Roberts and explain that to him. That's who she said, he was under the impression you couldn't get.
But I will be glad to.
Yeah, I
I
appreciate
take my
that.
orders, I'm an old jarhead, I take my orders and I
You
run
don't
with it.
need to quote that.
He was under the understanding you couldn't get it yet, so I need to let him know these guys can get the,
Absolutely, it's ready to go.
okay, that's, okay, thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks, Bill.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you, Pat.
Oh, all right, Sheriff, you can
And I
follow
thought I
that,
was
go
here
ahead.
I thought I was here for comic relief.
Yeah,
but
that's Bill.
It'd be Bill Stone Street today. So just put a bullseye on his back. So. Good evening, how we doing?
Good, Sheriff.
Well,
Doing well, good. Had a great weekend at We Care. I want to shout out to my folks. They do many, many hours. If you walked out there into the store, went and picked items up, dropped items off, you generally would see a correctional officer standing by the front door. So that's all volunteer for them to do. So they do a fantastic job. We know that there's a little bit of money rolling through the door. What, 318,000, I think, was gotten over the weekend. So there's a lot of money in and out. So we definitely enjoy doing that. So shout out to my correctional staff for
Yes,
doing
definitely.
that. Amber Toll is my favorite Howard County superintendent. She has helped us and her staff here lately with doing some work over by the maintenance building, helped Bill Stone Street out, helped me out. By us in a panic, we had to get something dug out there, so we hit Amber up and she took care of it and had her people take care of it, so.
Good.
She's now my official favorite.
Favorite.
So now,
is that all you wanted this evening?
I just got it. I mean, I can't talk to you guys all the time, but I got a shout out to my folks. when
Well,
I
she's
get a
our favorite
chance.
too right now, yeah.
Do what?
She's our favorite too.
Okay, good. So now, what we're really here for is the IRAX program. So out at the jail, we obviously have a little substance abuse problem with some of our folks, a little mental health problem with some of our folks as well. So we're trying to get a handle on it to help out with that situation. We have a full-time mental health person. I'm hoping in January through a grant through the Sheriff's Association, we should have a second full-time mental health person. Another little caveat, another little gap we know, and we've had peer folks out at the jail in the past. Matter of fact, Jamie was one of them a few years ago. Jamie Whitaker with Mental Health America of Indiana is here to talk a little bit about what we call the IRAX program. So I don't know if you want to have David speak. David Christensen is here as well. Used to be with Community Howard Behavioral Health, now with Wabash Valley or Wabash Recovery is kind of the organization we plan on going through to get the IRAX program. So kind of invited Jamie to come and speak a little bit, David maybe as well. So I'll turn it over.
How you doing?
Fine.
And thanks for your time. My name is Jamie Whitaker. I'm the Vice President of Forensic Services for Mental Health America of Indiana. And I oversee the statewide efforts working in the jails, putting a program in called IRAX. And IRAX puts a team of certified peer professionals in the jail working alongside the sheriff's staff 40 hours a week. And I mean, just in a nutshell, they meet with everyone right upon arrest. Everyone that comes in the jail gets connected with a peer coach, and then from intake to one-on-one support to group support for substance use, group support for mental health, resource navigation, insurance navigation, reentry support, and just works with everyone the whole time they're in jail. They collaborate very closely with the courts, prosecutor's office, public defender, and obviously all the probation and correction staff. And the goal of this is to reduce recidivism. So one, keep people from coming back to jail. Two, help people get out prepared to get out of jail. So, we can make sure they have an ID and a birth certificate, social security card, insurance, a plan in place, treatment, collaborations, referrals when they go out the door. So all those things that happen in this program. We've done this now we're in our second year. The program was funded from Governor Holcomb and Division of Mental Health and Addiction through Recovery Works dollars. We did 6 jails our first year across the southern part of the state, and then Muncie and Blackford County. Had a tremendous amount of success. We were able to get the recidivism rate down to about 19%. So from 58% down to 19%. Our success rate for people, helping them transition out of jail and stay engaged during that transition process, I don't know what you guys know about substance use numbers, but in that first 2 weeks, they face a 128% chance of overdose death in that first 2 weeks after leaving jail. So helping people transition out, our success rate was about 75%. And then overall, between all 6 of the jails we did the first year, we were able to reduce the population by between 18 and 20%. So jail population reduction. So Howard County has been one of the 6 counties that Governor Holcomb and DMHA have been willing to fund. So year 2, they gave us more money to fund 6 new counties. We've got 4 of those counties assigned. And Howard County, the sheriff was very interested in having the program here in Howard. So we've been in discussions with him and ultimately David and their group there at Restore Life and Wabash Recovery. So I'm here to say that so far Howard County has kind of checked all the boxes for the grant. And one of the boxes that we have to check is we have to speak to county council and the county commissioners and the city leaders, so city county leadership. And the reason we wanted to speak with you, again, I'm not asking you for anything tonight other than make you aware that the funding, if you guys do approve in supporting the program and supporting this, not only this year, but going forward, that Howard County would probably likely be given this money. It'd be a little bit over $400,000 would come into Howard County to provide these supports and services, all grant funded, so no funds from the city at this moment. But what we want to make you aware of is obviously any program you start, you have to figure out how to sustain that. Right now, we're working with the governor's office and DMHA and some other state leaders to try and figure out what sustainability looks like. There are some dollars that are earmarked, as you guys well know, through Recovery Works for criminal justice only. So we're trying to advocate that some of those funding, at least to 60 to 70%, be pushed out from the state and ultimately to make this sustainable up to 70%. And now what I want to make you guys aware of is that if we do that and the state is willing to make this a billable service where it can be sustainable, that and all the counties we're working with, we're asking the mayors and the commissioners to look at local dollars at that other 30%. So if we're able to implement this program and we reduce your jail population, we get more people out of jail, more people successfully into treatment, I want to make you aware that the goal would be probably be back here next year saying, hey, here's the numbers, here's what we were able to do, and see if you guys would want to look at maybe some of the opioid settlement dollars that are earmarked towards recovery or towards peer services and say, would Howard County be willing to allocate some of that funding towards?
And that would be in year 2.
Year 2, yeah.
Year 2. I'd be glad to allocate all the money for the city that I can.
I appreciate that. Hey, can we pass that on and take
Mayor.
Say that we got that?
appreciate that.
I don't think he'd like that very well.
Yeah, they said so.
We can get that on the record, can't we? City, we're good.
So year 2,
Perfect.
year 2, there would be some sort of financial commitment. And your success, you say what did you say, 18 to 20%?
But right now, our average is 19% for recidivism. That's people coming back to jail.
And jail reduction was what percentage?
About 18 to 20% across all 5 jails. We implemented some of these in rural counties and some in a larger county like Muncie, some south part of the state, some north. That way we just wanted to see, was there a difference depending on rural or urban, whatever. I mean, I'm from Howard County originally. Spent a lot of time in the jail working out here. And I will tell you, Howard County is set up perfect for something like this. And in some ways, we kind of created IRACs off of the work we did here in Howard County originally anyways.
When would this potentially start? What month or?
January.
January? It's that soon, okay.
We're in the last part of the grant cycle here. We had 39 counties that wanted this funding, and we only have funding for 6. And so we have what we call a readiness survey. So we go through and we measure different components that we know need to be available in the community for this program to be successful. Some of those are having a successful, strong recovery community organization, which is what David Organization is there. Having a sheriff that is recovery focused and outside the box and doing things, which we obviously have a great sheriff here. Having a jail that has space to operate such an intensive program. Putting a big group doing this kind of work in the jail, it does put a lot of stress on space. And then having city county leadership that are willing to say, hey, we want to invest in something like this. We want to reduce these numbers down. We want to get people more successful when they leave. And then the last component of that ultimately is your criminal justice partners, which are the judges, prosecutors, public defenders, and are all of these individuals willing to work with the IRACs program? Because IRACs really does work in the jail, in the courts. I mean, it works everywhere. And so we've met with everyone to date, and everyone else is on board. So right now, the last 2 check boxes is the city and county. Since you guys already approved the city, I think all we got to talk about now is the county, and we're good to go.
The sheriff and I attended the Community Mental Health Center behavioral assessment last week and talked a lot about the jail being it's really a mental health facility in itself.
It is.
And so it was good information. I think this goes hand in hand with what they said, the need for it.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad to hear this. Our jail is ripe for some needs like this and helping us get people not only out of jail, but keeping them from returning to jail. So look forward to the success of a program like this. So you certainly have my support.
Absolutely.
Is this something that you said you was looking for support from the commissioners? Is this something that you need a motion on so that we make it official, that we support this, or?
Yeah, I think that's what we're
Okay.
looking for.
And then secondly, gentleman in the back, he came to the community corrections. And was this the same thing that you was talking about? So the Community Corrections Board was 100% on board, and there's several judges on that, and so I'm a member of that. So just as FYI, the Community Corrections Board was 100% on board with this program.
Yeah, we have so many great partners in the state already, great things. And what, taking people with lived experience who found success in there and put them in jail, what the greatest thing, and I know the sheriff's talked to a bunch of sheriffs about this as well, it really does kind of transform the jail environment. It really does reduce stress on the jail staff, so it affects turnover, losing less people, and it really does transform the way, the atmosphere inside the jail. It really just kind of, and I'd be more than happy to set up tours if you guys want to go see one of the current programs. Muncie's got a fantastic one right now. So, but yeah, it would
The
be
judicial
great
system has done, we've checked so many boxes, Veterans Court, Mental Health Court. We've worked with the sheriff. The sheriff has worked with all these courts. Drug treatment throughout the whole community. We as the county have supported them with our opioid dollars. So we've checked a lot of boxes. And I think you'll find the whole community has been really supportive of programs like this, the peer programs. So I think we're doing the right things.
I make a motion to support the IREX program in Howard
Second
County.
that.
Motion second to support the IREX program. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Yeah, Mayor obviously is not here this evening. He was going to be here, a little under the weather. So since he didn't come, I think we are good to go with buy-in from the city. I'm thinking if you don't show up to the party, that's what it happened.
Train's leaving the station.
Yes, there you go. So no, as Jamie talked about, I did talk to the sheriffs, all of the sheriffs. The first, the sheriff I talked to was in Dearborn County, down in Lawrenceburg. A good friend of mine, both got elected at the same time, and he just raves about the program, kind of got me turned on. I've known Jamie for many, many years and worked with David for many, many years as well, so we were already familiar with each other. So I have no problem moving forward with this program. Talked to the sheriff over in Delaware County, Scott County is another county, Blackford County is another county. I have talked to all those sheriffs, and they just rave about how well it has helped with recidivism. And I think it's great to have, like I said, mental health in the jail with our full-time mental health folks. Our correctional officers are not really set up to handle some of those mental health issues, but it's great to have peer folks in there because our mental health can't follow them out the door. Our correctional officers can't follow them out the door, where the peer folks can basically follow them out the door, so to speak, and have a great, warm handshake to get them to another program. Because luckily, we are blessed in this community, as you know, with a lot of places to get some help. So, and we know we desperately need the help. So I think it'll be a good program for us.
Really appreciate you pursuing this program
Sure.
and bringing it to us. Appreciate you being here as well.
Matt
Bass
Deckard is
Recovery.
here, so we obviously are all on board. Matt is more than on board with getting some help for these folks, and we got some space for them to come into the building too. So I think it'd be good all the way around. So I appreciate you guys' support.
the city box for me too.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thanks, Sheriff. They owe us.
Okay.
They owe
All
us.
right, moving right along. Any new business? Hearing none, we'll move into claims reports. Salary claims.
$971,970.28.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion second to approve the salary claims. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Those are approved. Payroll expense.
$971,970.28.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion second to approve the payroll expense. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is approved. Moving on to operating claims.
$848,506.08.
Move to approve.
Second.
Second. Motion second to approve the operating claims. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those are approved also. Any claims to ratify?
None.
Any monthly reports?
I have weights and measures, date end November 15th, 2023, and I have treasurer's report, month ending 10/31/2023.
Show those as received. Any grants to go over?
None.
No grants. Move into county attorney issues.
I have an ordinance to create a new grant fund. As you know, as grants are received, we have to have an ordinance to,
Yes, sir.
this is a $75,000 grant from the Indiana Department of Child Services to the Kinsey Youth Center.
The one that Kathy presented.
Yes.
We need that ordinance number.
I would, yeah, we need an ordinance number.
Do you need an ordinance number? 2023-BCCO-51.
51.
51.
51. There you go.
I'd make a motion to accept ordinance number 2023 BCCO 51.
Second.
Motion second to accept the ordinance as read. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That ordinance is approved.
And that's all I have.
And we need, yes, signature. Put that down. All right. Get that taken care of. All right, commissioner issues. Commissioner Dodd.
I do not.
Nothing. Commissioner Mansky.
Mr. Wilson drafted a letter. I had several complaints about another property. This property was at 3247 South, 750 West in Richardville. If you actually go into Beacon, you can see the amount of rubbish or garbage. When you look at Beacon, you can see it. So we've sent them a letter to try to get them to clean up the property, first step.
Okay. All right. Anything else? I have nothing. Moving into public comment. He said, actually, nothing? Oh, all right. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Moved.
Second.
Motion second to adjourn, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.